Hi there, it's day 15, Monday, which means that we're at the start of the third week of your reset. Congratulations for getting this far, and I hope your motivation levels are still really high. If they're not, get in touch with me, okay? Because we want to, see this through to the end. And just in case you've come across this video on YouTube and you don't know what I'm talking about, just click the link below and that will take you to the page on my website that explains everything about this 31-day detox and reset, following the Ancestral health model, the primal health model, the paleo diet. And yeah, I really encourage you to do it if you to do it if you're curious, because the results can be quite dramatic. For us, they were life-changing, and that's why, I'm doing this. I'm sharing this program. So, here comes. So today we're talking about legumes. So we're continuing on the theme of gut health and how it impacts upon our immune system and therefore our inflammation levels. As well as carbohydrates and all of that sort of stuff. So we're really getting into into understanding how it's all so integrated. Okay, so legumes, ha ha ha. We all know that legumes create a little gas. We all have a little bit of a giggle when experiencing the effects of beans and legumes. Yeah, but got to be honest here. It's not all fun and games. Legumes, I love this title. Legumes is not just a fart between friends. Okay, legumes are the seeds of the mother plant, right? So they have all of the same issues as cereals and grains. We looked at this yesterday, okay? So like cereals, legumes are cheap carbohydrates. They contain high levels of phytates, which are the anti-nutrients, and they contain high levels of prolamines, which are the ones that damage the lining of the intestine. But in addition, their perceived nutritional content is way overrated, right? So along with the problem of their nutrition not being bioavailable, yeah, so remember remember yesterday we were talking about the anti-nutrients, which block the absorption of minerals and vitamins. So apart from that, there's just no comparison in the density of proteins that we get from animal protein sources. Okay, so if we have a look at this, I think we've sort of covered this right at the beginning when we were looking at protein, but it's good to revise this. From 1 cup of beans, you're going to get from 1 cup of beans, you're going to get 10 grams of carbohydrates and only 6 grams of protein. Compare that with a chicken breast, for example, which contains 0 carbohydrates and 35 grams of protein. So, which means that to get the same amount of protein that comes from chicken, you're going to need to consume 58 grams of carbohydrates, and you'll get the anti-nutrients as a bonus, right? So since legumes are not a complete source of protein, you'll need to add other varieties of protein, such as your grains and cereals. And in doing so, of course, you're going to receive even more carbohydrates. Okay, so that's all stuff that we've covered. There are 3 other problems to add to the situation of legumes. Number 1 is the FODMAPs, right? And I've dedicated a whole email to this later on. The FODMAPs, we all know the first problem with legumes quite well. Beans and legumes create gas because they're rich in galactans, and galactans are a form of FODMAP. Now, FODMAPs are fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols, and all of these are carbohydrates or sugars, yeah, that ferment in the intestine. And the excess gas is a byproduct of the fermentation. Okay, now we can laugh as long as we want, but the sad truth remains. Excess FODMAPs contribute to gut dysbiosis. Now, gut dysbiosis occurs when our gut bacteria become unbalanced. And in particular, when the bad bacteria reproduce much more than the healthy bacteria. Of course, when everything's in balance, there is no bad bacteria. Yeah, this is just sort of, a way of explaining that. So in the best case scenario, dysbiosis is just simply uncomfortable and antisocial. It's bloating and it's wind and it's constipation, it's diarrhea. But in the worst cases, it contributes to irritable bowel syndrome and bacterial gut overgrowth, which is called SIBO. Okay, so we're going to look at this a little bit closer later on. Number 2, this is fascinating. The second problem with FODMAPs is that they contain saponins, and saponins are anti-nutrients that foam like soap when soaked in water. Yeah, you know that when you put your beans to soak overnight before cooking them, and the water goes all frothy. They're the saponins, and the saponins are a defense mechanism for plants against fungi and microbes. Now, all legumes, beans, peas, lentils, soy, etc., contain saponins, as well as amaranth and buckwheat and quinoa and chia and flax seeds. So be aware of this if you want to make chia seed pudding. If you've got serious gut issues, you might want to just give that a miss for until you get the gut healing process well underway. But this is really interesting. The saponins are water soluble. When they interact with cells, they create pores on the surface of the cells and they permeate the membranes. And they do this not only on cells from the intestine, but on any cell that they have contact with, right? So this means that when they enter the bloodstream through a hyperpermeable intestine, they impair the ability of red blood cells to process oxygen. That's an as well. Yeah, that's as well as doing the damage to the cells and permeating the membranes. So, saponins irritate the immune system so much that they are used in vaccine research. So those suffering from the acute effects of leaky gut should exclude all foods that contain saponins. Right? Now, important to note here is that cooking does not destroy saponins, but the fermentation process does, right? And so therefore, your fermented soy products such as tempeh and miso are free of saponins and they're okay. Now, the third issue going on with legumes is particularly related to soy and soy products, which are just sort of everywhere at the moment. And soy is sort of promoted as sort of a wonderful form of protein and wonderful for our health. But soybeans have a special problem all of their own, along with the aforementioned issues, all of those issues mentioned previously. Soy contains phytoestrogens, and estrogen, of course, is the female reproductive hormone. Phytoestrogens are recognized by the human body, right? Both the male and the female human body as that sex hormone. So depending on the type of phytoestrogen, they will either stimulate or block the estrogen receptors to the body, right? In essence, what this means is that soy messes with your sex hormones. We don't want that. Okay, so assimilate all of that information, and if you look in the eat section today, the recommendation is to practice the little exercise here of waiting until hunger ensues naturally. We did this earlier. So instead of, it's just sort of that thing of waking up your senses, waking up your sensibility to the sensations that you're receiving from the body with regards to your appetite, okay? So the idea here is to eat according to the signals as opposed to looking at the clock, okay? If you have the opportunity to do that, then it's a really great thing to do. It's a really great thing to do, and we want to open our we want to increase our capacity for eating in an intuitive way, okay? And so we want to really learn how to distinguish between the sensations of feeling simply empty, feeling hungry, feeling full and satisfied, and feeling overfull and stuffed, yeah? And so this is really good too. This is a really great exercise to do often. It's a really great exercise to do often. If we can, just really tune into our intuitive eating patterns, then, that's going to sort of regulate our metabolism and regulate our psychology as well, in a really efficient way. Okay, now the move section for today, the recommendation is to move frequently throughout the day, don't remain seated for long periods, etc. And your journaling exercise for today is just a big brain dump. Brain dumps are fantastic. You know, just set the timer and just write down everything that comes into your head. No censoring, no editing, just anything that's going on. And the idea here, especially if sort of like concerns and anxieties and stress come through, you know, it's not about resolving those issues. It's just simply about getting them out of your head and onto the page. Yeah, and then you can go and burn it. Okay, so that's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, ciao, ciao.